Hello, Jaybot back for another video. Yes, unfortunately it is a bit of a rant. I had stopped doing these because, and you can probably work out from the title what I'm going to be talking about. I had sort of stopped doing these because basically I was just getting pissed off and repeating myself, and it's just what is the point of that really? So I'd sort of left them on the back burner, maybe for my FU lists if I still do them, which I haven't really decided on yet. But in this particular situation, I decided that actually no, I do want to get a video because this is more than the usual ticket bullshit that I normally have, and in fact it'll be sort of two rants in one, because I never mentioned the first one because although I think I did a video on it that never went up, I used to get too pissed off about it. So anyway, this whole issue with the O2 starts back in April of this year. Well, technically I suppose you could say November last year when I booked the tickets for April. Yeah, the usual issues of trying to get tickets. The usual brick walls that I'm up against of touting Ticketmaster or whoever opening their lines earlier than when the tickets are supposed to be going on sale. The other thing of the actual systems giving better seats to pairs of tickets rather than single people, or no, sorry, let's explain that a bit better. Giving better tickets to pairs of people or groups, and not letting individuals have those tickets. Yeah, that sort of bullshit, and the fact that the box office, I have to go through the disabled box office because of my eyesight, basically don't know what they're doing, and don't understand what partially sighted means. Anyway, got my tickets, and again, rather consistently 4th row. However, it was supposed to be an aisle seat. The aisle being the aisle between the block that I was in, which was C1, and the adjacent block, which was C2. That's what it should be, so I would have been able to sort of stand up and move out and probably get to the front a bit more. And this block is sort of on the entrance ramp. Yeah, it's viewing the entrance ramp, I mean. So, all well and good. I go there, and because I never really thought this sort of thing would happen, I didn't bring any sort of seating plan with me or anything. However, and I'd kind of forgotten where I was sitting, because again the description wasn't all that good, but I had the sort of basic gist of where I should have been. I got there, found my seat, which was D13, and rather than being, it was still an aisle seat where I was supposed to be at the aisle between block block C1 and C2. Yeah, I can't remember the exact blocks, but pretty much gives you the idea. No, the block itself had been turned 90 degrees, so I was on where I was sitting was the back aisle to where all the exits and stuff, so I was effectively 13 rows from the front, which someone else who was in the row in front of me was pretty pissed off and worked out, hang on, this isn't where I'm supposed to be, I'm supposed to be up there. But they weren't willing to do anything at that time. And I'd worked out by the, I'd worked out, and yeah, this isn't where I was supposed to be. Well, no, I knew that wasn't where I was supposed to be. I didn't know I thought this huge thing is I've been lied to about what these fucking tickets are. Anyway, I went and spoke to customer service that night, and they said they're not sure what the problem is, but there isn't anything they can do. You need to speak to customer service the next day. In fact, I think it was halfway through that I'd mentioned it to them. Yeah, and they were basically saying it was right on their seating plan, which the seating plan they had behind them, the detailed one, it was, but anyway, I got back to my hotel. I did a bit of research online. Was still able to get the interactive pick your own seating chart, which is detailed, off of the Ticketmaster website, and took screenshots and stuff and worked out that indeed I was in the wrong place and it had been turned. So I spent the next morning trying to get this sorted, but they wouldn't do anything. They're saying that, look, this is a Ticketmaster's fault, not ours. However, I did get vouchers for complimentary food and drink, so, bonus. And they basically said contact Ticketmaster, which I believe I did that day, and I didn't get an answer before the thing. Oh yeah, yes I did. I had to do it all by email, which is where the trouble starts. And this is why I was still sorting out the whole Xbox stuff. Anyway, so eventually, after a month and a half, nearly, of Ticketmaster and O2 blaming each other for the problem, O2 finally sent me an email saying, look, we apologise for the error with the seating plan. It was some sort of system error between the seating plan they had and the one that Ticketmaster had. And apparently on the Monday they were aware of the problem, even though they said there wasn't a problem, but they couldn't. Apparently they're saying the WWE wouldn't have changed seats. Really? Like, they give a fuck. As long as there's people sitting in those seats and they're making money, they wouldn't give a fuck. It doesn't affect them. So anyway, back to the email. They admitted this, and here is codes for 2 free tickets to use on whatever. Brilliant, I thought. Yes. Came to November, because in fact, interestingly enough, in November they weren't at the O2, they were at Wembley Arena for some reason. So I went to the TV shows that were in Birmingham. Oh boy. And that's another issue. Yes, very strict, very inconsistent for people as usual, who was pretty much letting both blocks around me stand up and go to the front, but not my block. That was a corner block. I was front row, mind you. It was actually a disabled front row. Yes, there was a disabled block in front of the front row. Now, apparently I was talking to someone who was disabled that was in the proper front row, who wasn't too pleased about this new front row, because they'd gone to, I think it was Ticket Factory, and obviously there was, a similar issue with seating plans, and this disabled block wasn't on there. But yeah, so pretty much we got that block, that row got discriminated. We weren't allowed to move forward yet. Everyone else was. For safety, which I can understand, but you could have let that row up. I don't see what the issue was with one row. Anyway, I'm going off topic a little bit, but the main thing was, as usual with Birmingham, and I hope it's put on the website now after various emails I've made. As usual, I took me replica bout with me world one that I always take to these things, because it's about the most modern I've got. It got confiscated on the way in, which has happened before. several different reasons, because it was made of metal, because it could be a potential weapon, which is bullshit. And eventually I got an email from them saying health and safety was the reason, which, you know, that's a very generic term. And then the usual inconsistent thing of I was seeing children with the kid scale versions of these belts, still metal, still heavy, still leather, but they're smaller. They're just not as big. They're about 3/4 of the scale of the main one. And I've also actually proved this point before, where I took a full-size belt. It was the ECW one when I went there with my nephew, and he carried it in. They didn't confiscate off of him. They won't confiscate off of children, which, if it's a health and safety issue, they should be doing that, but they obviously don't have the balls to do that. Much as you'll probably have pissed off parents, if that's really the reason, health and safety, you should be doing that. Anyway, the main thing from that was it got damaged when I got back. I'm missing one of the ruby screw heads off of it, which isn't easy to replace, and at the moment I'm waiting for someone to get back to me about well, hopefully compensation. They're talking to the insurance people at the moment, apparently, which was Monday, so I'm going to have to sort that out again. Anyway, I went off topic. I'm on about the O2. Yeah. So I then spotted that the TV tapings were back at the O2 again. And apparently the reason they weren't at Wembley before was because it was double booked with some tennis tournaments. Interesting, after the problems that I had. And the amount of people that I believe emailed in about it. So, and this email I might add was very vague. It just said, please email these codes to ticketing@o2.co.uk to redeem. It didn't say was if it was like for more codes to use on the O2 website, or if I phone up. No, didn't say anything. I mean, it had the usual thing of subject to availability, which, you know, fair enough. You don't know what you're going to get, which will become a key point in a moment. So I did that the Wednesday before. Well, yeah, they went on sale the 23rd, and I did it when here. Yeah, I'm email yeah, the 14th or 15th of November, the Wednesday anyway, before the Wednesday, a week Wednesday before it went on sale. I didn't get an answer, so I thought, I don't have long before these go on sale, because effectively they go on sale, well, it used to be Thursday, the pre-order, but now it's Wednesday. So yeah, that's the other thing. And pre-sales, I have to put, you know, there's another brick wall I'm up against. Fuck's sake. So I chased this up Thursday afternoon, and basically I couldn't get hold of who sent me the email in the first place. They said they'd chase it up and someone would be back to me that evening. They never did. Chased it up again Friday, the same thing. We'll email them and they should get back to you. Nothing. I chased it up again Saturday, and this time I think I was talking to a supervisor, because they were actually able to explain to me what the system was, and this is where the problem started. The codes were to redeem tickets in their house seat allocation, whatever that is. Basically, it seats in either block 102 or block 111, which is the tiered seating at the back, which is no good for me. So again, I said, well, I need to speak to someone because that's not going to be good enough. And she said, well, I'll chase it up and someone should get back to you later on today. But yeah, they didn't. Again. And, oh, the other thing, she was also claiming it hadn't been confirmed that the shows were happening, even though it was being advertised, and that was how I found out about when it was on and when they were coming on sale. So she said there wasn't anything they could do until it was confirmed. Fair enough. I left it until it was confirmed on the Monday and rang again. And I did eventually get through to someone who was actually emailed that day, but I didn't see the email because it came at some weird time. And that was just as vague. It was just saying that, look, we've got this code and you can redeem them. Anyway, explain the situation. She said I'd look into it, I'll come back to you today. Didn't get to Tuesday. Eventually, I had some issue with my mobile phone and I didn't actually get the call. I got an answer phone message. At that point, the best they could do was the disabled block, which is in front of the tiered blocks. It's the aisle in front of the tiered blocks. Still no good. They have this issue. They think because you're partially sighted, as long as it's a clear view you can see, they don't understand that distance is an issue. And I've lost my train of thought. Yeah. So I said, well, that's not good enough. And she said, well, what were the tickets you originally had? And I told her, and she said, well, I'll go back to the booking manager and see what I can do. And it was another day before she actually got back to me, and I chased it up again. I tried to get through to the booking manager myself and was confused. But eventually she came back to me and said that the best that we can do is on the floor is row 6. No, it's not even. It's row 7. An aisle C of block B3, which is on the corner. So I'm at an angle, and I'm 7 rows back, which is not ideal by any stretch of the imagination. And I said, look, yeah, this still isn't good enough. Can you do any better? And it was basically, no, that's the best that we can do. And why? And basically, I got some sort of, after it took ages to actually get a proper seat description of where they were, and it took a while for it to make sense of it, because it's an aisle seat and where it is. And I got a sneaking suspicion it was either out of the disabled allocation or the pre-order, more likely the pre-order, which I'll get to. So it was a case of, well, I'm not happy about this, and we need to go back to customer service and speak to a supervisor, which I tried, and I had to wait for them to get back to me the next day. Well, I was supposed to, and they never did. They meant to get back to you that day, they never get back to you. And this was Thursday by now. I looked on, and I noticed I had an email for a pre-order, an O2 pre-order, which was strange. I mean, I'm not an O2 phone customer because their service is shit round here. But I got this, just pre-sale ticket email. Strange. But by the time I was at work, unfortunately, so by the time I got back, and I'm still waiting for people to get back to me. I mean, there wasn't a lot. There would have been useful stuff, but I wasn't sure if I could use it or what it was all about. So, but I looked on it and I found, well, to start with, I thought it was actually the ticket she offered me, but it was actually, in the end, I think the row in front of me. But I I'm not entirely sure, because I'm sure she's changed the row on me several times. I was just thinking, okay, so they took them out the fucking pre-order. Why can't they get me closer? There's still second row stuff which would do. So eventually I got back through to her, and she basically denied that it would come out of there. Basically, the thing is, these house tickets have no value. They're freebies. It means it doesn't cost them anything. And as usual, they blame the promoter for this. For them to put me where I need to be, it would actually cost them money. Even though it's their fault in the first place, it would cost them money, and they don't want to do that. That's what it comes down to. So eventually, after arguing with her, and basically getting told to go back to customer service and speak to a supervisor there, and they always put me back to her for fuck's sake, which doesn't help. Basically, it was a case of, well, I'll keep these for you for a week, and you decide what you want to do. I said, you know, thank you, and I'll see what I can get Friday. Again, working. I always seem to be working when these tickets go on sale. It was my stupid fault for saying yes. Anyway, so someone had to do it on my behalf. And they rung up to say we're booking 9. I think 9 or just before, because it's better to do it just before. Waited on there an hour. And then, I don't know if she put the phone down or if she got cut off. But basically did not get through. Tried the main booking line that I'd given the number for. Same thing again. Tried the disabled line. Same thing again. She left it about 5 minutes. Tried again and got through. But there wasn't anything left that was any good. And their advice was, we'll ring back later. Because of how the computer system works, people will look for tickets and then it will hold them, so you might find better ones are released if you try on a bit. So she did same thing, so I ended up ringing up, really rather pissed off to be quite honest, to customer service again. Well, no, to the disabled line first of all, to see if I could get anywhere. No. Same thing, and basically, you know, I've had box office saying that this is not Sabre box office saying, you know, it's just high demand because there was about 6 things on sale. Bullshit, because that's never happened before. And customer service agreeing with me that this is abnormal, we'll look into it. Don't know if they have. And then what happened? Basically, I was again waiting for them to get back to me on Saturday. They didn't. I chased it up. And basically, I wanted to speak to a supervisor, obviously, but it wasn't went around until Sunday. At this point, I'd already emailed back Debbie, who is the supervisor, whatever the fuck she is, that offered me the 7th row tickets in the first place. To accept them, because I didn't have any other choice. Unless they were going to pay for me to buy them off of Get Me Now, or something like that. And funnily enough, people they get the decent tickets easy enough, and then charge you £400 a fucking ticket. Fuck them. And so eventually Monday, I chased it up again because I was told Saturday when I chased it up there wouldn't be supervised until Monday. Sunday I had actually got an email back from Debbie saying, it's not, why do I call it Debbie, it's Louise. Twat. Where'd Debbie come from? Jesus, that must have been someone else I've spoken to. I've spoken to some people about this. Yeah. Anyway, saying that was fine. I'd asked for a detailed description where the seat was, didn't get that. I got a crappy seating chart with an arrow pointing to it and saying it's an aisle seat. However, I've recorded all the calls, so I have the description she gave me originally, because I don't trust O2, for good reason now. Anyway, so I got through to chase up again to speak to the supervisor, didn't get anywhere. They said, do you want to try the disabled line again, just in case? I did. Waited half an hour before I could get through, and I was told there wasn't any new on sale tickets going on sale that day. Still took half an hour to get through. Basically, they had nothing, literally. And I said, well, alright, can I speak to either the supervisor or booking manager? I get through to Louise again, don't I? So I get those tickets sorted. So basically what happened is, eventually after a lot of arguing with her, one, I have these 7th row tickets that we'll just have to do. At least they're free. And I got her to admit that there's a problem with the computer system at the moment and people were getting cut off or not getting through. And that was about it. No compensation for a week of fucking about. No. And also having to chase up the Birmingham thing because I haven't heard any more from them other than the insurance thing Monday. So yeah. Now, key thing I do need to know is since April they've changed. Their box office is not run by Ticketmaster anymore. It's a company called Access, who quite frankly don't seem to know how to sell tickets. It's going to take 3 hours to get through. But it's quite obvious to me now, O2 cannot or just do not have the ability to cater for people with visual impairments. You are fucked. No one should have to go through this type of bullshit. Fuck knows what I'm going to do next time, because now I'm not guaranteed to get through to where to put them in the first place now, am I? Let's get fixed. Jesus. Yeah, so, you know, that is how bad O2 is. I mean, you know, if you have proper sight, more power to you. You shouldn't have too many problems. But if you've got a visual disability, you are pretty much fucked unless you fight. And at this point, I'm still deciding whether or not to go to AXS and complain to them and see what I can do. But yeah, what's the point of getting free tickets for an issue when they're actually going to be further back than you got stuck in the first place? Logic, O2, fucking logic, you fucking useless bastards. Anyway, that's enough rambling from me. That was a long ass rant as well, nearly half an hour. Gee whiz. Anyway, that is it for this video. Sorry that it's been another rant. I will be back very shortly, I hope, when I've done a bit of research, with another video, a DVD review of this. That's a bit of a clue. So, ta-ta for now.